Hello, everybody. Welcome to round 20 predictions for the EFL Championship. Sam, midweek round coming up, and a win for you at the
Oh,
weekend.
yes.
Built around a very good Bob on call of Bristol City nil, Millwall 1, and the real quiz, no public apologies either.
That's
So,
good.
yeah, are you ready for the midweek round, mate, after your FA Cup duties at the weekend?
Just about, mate. Yeah, just about. Thrilled to get a victory under my belt. Cool. That's yeah. When I was just getting organised this morning, it was starting to prey on my mind that I might have to just abandon ship mid-season, which wouldn't be great for you viewers.
I think you need to
But thankfully,
closely read the terms of your very detailed
yeah, well, I'm
detailed
gonna
contract.
knuckle down now, mate,
So-
and try and make up that deficit.
right, get involved down in the comments. It's round 20. We've got 12 games to predict. Sam, we start with Blackburn versus Oxford. I don't want to misquote you, but I think last time we had an abandonment, you said it's more an issue if you've travelled and gone away from home than if you're playing a home game. So maybe it doesn't affect Blackburn so much. Oxford, horrible logistical one here. They've gone to Swansea at the weekend. Now they're off to Blackburn. Do you make the home side favourites?
Mm. Yeah, marginally. What was the minute of the abandonment?
I think they did it at half time, possibly, or
Oh,
towards
was
half
it? Okay,
time.
so they didn't get to
Didn't get to minute
the last.
79, but I'm not allowed to talk about that or I get in trouble as an Ipswich
Yeah,
fan.
yeah, okay. Do you know what? I'm going to give Oxford a point here.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's not ideal for Blackburn, even though they were ahead. So yeah, I think there'll be disappointment in that camp, and obviously it's happened on multiple occasions now this season. So I just think that might disrupt them a tad for whatever reason, and I'll go for Oxford to improve on what, by all accounts, was a pretty poor display at Swansea. I'm going to go 1-1.
Just need to give Timon a shout out for that second Swansea goal. What a strike that was on the left foot. Sam, I'm going to go with the logistics and tiredness argument. I just feel the Blackburn players are going to be a bit fresher. I don't know if they're going to... They seem to have been haplessly unlucky in quite a lot of ways, and maybe the players are going to get a bit of siege mentality. I think they're going to win this game, so I'll add on an extra goal. I like Oxford to score, so I'll go Blackburn 2, Oxford 1. Please don't rain at Ewood. It's Charlton versus Middlesbrough, and I suppose, Sam, we should give our condolences because I think this fan was he's now been named and was kind of a popular guy over at Charlton. And the game, obviously, at the weekend abandoned, given that this gentleman has sadly passed away. So our condolences to Charlton and the wider football family. Again, we're talking about teams having to respond, having prepared for a game and not completed it as such. Middlesbrough are going to be high on life, aren't they? It was a hell of a first half performance at Hull. I do like Charlton at home, though. I think I'll take a 1-1. Do you know what? I don't see Charlton winning. I'm either on the draw or the away win, but I'll sit on the fence, Sam. 1-1.
Yeah, desperately sad at the weekend, and I'm sure everyone that attends this game, supporters and obviously the players that turn out, will want to put on a bit of a show, and I'm sure that'll be comforting for all the supporters to get back inside the valley midweek. I think you probably have to just side with the visiting team here because of that recent result and because of Charlton's drop off recently. So I would probably go for Borough. I don't mind the draw at all, but I'll go for Borough 2-1.
Preston versus Coventry. Sam, a rare defeat for Coventry at the weekend, but we know what happened. Last time they lost, they went and won their next 5 games. Another winning streak for Cov. They start at Preston.
Yeah, not too many surprises that was low scoring at the weekend against Wrexham at Deepdale. Yeah, I think I'll go for Coventry here, just purely on their power and, the reality of the state that they're in, a good state, and how difficult Ipswich can be and will be to play against probably for the remainder of the season. So you can wipe that one clean, and I think Frank Lampard said as much at the weekend. They're in a great place. I'll go for them to win, and I'll go for them to win relatively well, 2-0.
Famous last words here, Sam, because I'm going to double you up. We did Blue Monday yesterday, and when we actually did all the analysis, pretty much all the key moments went Ipswich's way in that game. So it's not a game where Coventry turned up and didn't do what they have been doing. They kind of got on the front foot, and one or other of those key moments goes and it compounds, and you could be talking about a comfortable Coventry win rather than a comfortable Ipswich win. So yeah, I think they get right back on the bike. They're going to have that mentality. So we are setting ourselves up here, Mr. Parkin, for a public apology if Preston can get the result. But yeah, I'll back Coventry. I'll take another 2-1. Actually, we'll go for Preston to score. I like both teams to score with Cov. So yeah, 2-1 Cov. Sheffield United versus Norwich. Sam, I've got to really pay attention to this run of Chris Wilder's here. That's 4 wins in a row with 13 goals. And obviously they'll be heavy favourites to beat Norwich given their struggles. So I'm kind of less interested in your prediction when we come to you, because I suspect we're both going to go on the home win here. But yeah, could we get, or what would a 5-win streak do for Sheffield United? I'm going to back it. They're scoring goals as well, Sam. I'm going to go 3-1 Blades.
Yeah, I suppose it's whether they can continue knocking out the resounding victories week after week after, plundering that amount of goals.
Sam, quickly, just on Norwich, they could have got something at Watford. Yeah. They were certainly in the game and led twice.
Yeah, I think we both had Watford, didn't we? I certainly fancied them in that game. I'll go for Norwich to tighten up a little bit in this one, but Sheffield United maybe to get a second late on. I'll go 2-0 Sheffield United, but maybe not as fluid as we saw at the weekend, which I think you can make a strong argument, even having blown Leicester out of the water in that first half. That was probably Sheffield United's most complete performance of the season.
Southampton versus West Brom. Tonda Eka confirmed now as the Saints boss.
Thinking along the same lines here, obviously contrasting results at the weekend. Armstrong banging form. Thought he was helped a little bit by the goalkeeper, certainly for one of those goals against Birmingham. But I think you have to back Southampton here. And I'll make this maybe a really hard-fought 1-0 home win.
Yeah, it's hard not to go. We've sort of got 2 in a row there, Sam, where we've got a parachute team in form against an opponent going away from home who's not in form. And the kind of fleeting moments for West Brom have just never been followed up, have they, this season? So you've got to back Saints. Beans, you've taken the hard-thought midweek, 3-game week 1-0. I'll go for them to keep on slamming the goals in then. Do you know what? Let's be silly with this. I'll play for a bonus point, Sam. Let's go for Azaz and Armstrong and a 4-1 Southampton win.
Wow.
Which moves us. I think you'd pick these ones out, Sam. It's a huge week, this one, down at the bottom with head-to-heads. It's Swansea versus Pompey. Great win for Swansea. Obviously, you mentioned abandonments are far more a nuisance for the travelling team. So Pompey have travelled to Charlton, done all their prep, not played a game, had to come back. Now they go off to Swansea. So very much like the Blackburn Oxford game. I'm going to take the logistical argument. Do you know what? In that game, Oxford could have got something in the second half in terms of getting on the score sheet. So I'll give Pompey a goal. I'm going to go 2-1 Swansea.
I will therefore play the draw, I think. I think it's difficult to go, back to back, despite it being quite kind fixtures for Swansea over this 3 or 4 days. But I'll go for Pompey in light of maybe having a little bit of freshness to contradict what I did with the Blackburn one earlier. But 1-1 Swansea Portsmouth.
Watford, excellent at home, versus Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, this is in keeping with a lot of the things I'm saying this morning, but maybe not much between the sides, but Watford just too powerful, too much potential excitement in the forward areas. I'll go for Watford 2-1.
Yeah, I'm going to back Watford as well. I quite like the both teams to score, but you've nicked it. Oh, can I go for a bigger margin of victory? I'm not sure. I can. They're quite goalie, Watford. That's the second 3-2 in 4 games, and their last 6 actually. No, you're right, mate. Last 6 have been both teams to score there. Okay, so I will take a 2-goal margin of victory then. I quite like your 2-1, Sam, but I'll have to go 3-1 in light of the fact I'm going second. And yeah, I'm hanging it up there. Still thinking we might get a Watford movement over the next 10, 15 games up towards the playoffs. QPR versus Birmingham. Sam, your club is so weird. We said this last time. So I was kind of despairing of them 4 games ago. They've now won 3 in 4, QPR, and a really, really informed striker as well. And Birmingham do not travel well. Birmingham are 21st in the away table. But something tells me, because QPR are weird, I've got 2-2 in my head here for this one. I just think QPR's kind of erratic nature and Birmingham's star power evens it out. I don't have Birmingham winning this one, though, which is not great in terms of, their stature and not being able to go away and get a win. So I'll take the Desmond. No one's had one yet. 2-2.
Yeah, I was thinking that initially, but then I think a lot of the conversation around Birmingham is maybe they've got to set up differently away from home.
Oh, really? Okay.
In comparison to what they're doing in the home games. So in light of that, maybe a better defensive Birmingham display on the road where they're conceding early goals continually. Yeah, right. So if they stop that, obviously with the quality of player and the forward players they've got to improve. So I think a more conservative Birmingham here, maybe 1-1.
Bristol City, Sam, versus Leicester. Great first half from Leicester. They can do it when they've got their head in the game, can't they?
Yeah, really powerful performance, wasn't it? Not so much direct, but forthright, playing forward, playing with a bit more urgency than maybe what we've seen.
Brilliant opening goal, Sam, by Reed.
Great opening goal, yeah. Echoed over Reed. Quite a few, obviously, eye-catching changes. Nelson back in, wasn't it? The goalkeeper changed. A few more young lads involved. So I'm not saying Marty Cifuentes listening to the hordes, but I think, that kind of ticked a lot of boxes, the selection. I'm doing this game, actually. I'm going to be working on this one.
Nice.
Tell me Bristol City's result of the weekend.
You got it bob on, Sam. Bristol City 0, Millwall 1. Yeah.
Which will be remembered, not for the goal.
A brilliant punch-up. Right, tell me, Sam, right? Just quickly, Sam Parkin, mid-career, you're 50 yards away from that, and you see it all kicking off. Are you standing still and going, oh, what is going on over there? Or are you sprinting down like a WWE wrestler running down a ramp and going and get yourself involved?
90% of the time would have been the former. I would have been, what are they doing? Just thinking about which microwavable pasta I'm going to be popping in the microwave on the team coach on the way home. But I suppose the magnitude of it, on this occasion, seemed like everyone that was in a tracksuit of some description was involved, wasn't it?
That's so funny.
It's a brave man who takes on Alex Neil, anyway.
What a wee Scotsman! Yeah, absolutely.
I played against him as well. He's he's a fiery character, but I suppose they're gonna. Yeah, they'll have the book thrown at them.
They absolutely both clubs will, won't they? It'll be
control players, sorry. I obviously haven't sat down and started swatting up, but I do recall watching the highlights over the weekend. I am going to go for Leicester to get a bit of a bounce from that victory. God, a lot of low-scoring affairs here, isn't there?
Midweek.
I'll go for Leicester to double down on a terrible few days for Bristol City, 0-1.
Yeah, I'm a bit conflicted on this one. I felt a bit let down by Bristol City because I kind of went all in on them at the weekend to win, and obviously they lost. A little bit inconsistent, aren't they, Bristol City? When you think we were talking about how they were just constantly struggling through injuries, and get the players back now, and they've lost 2 out of 3. Oh, I might take a 0-0. Sam, I don't think anyone's had one.
Don't do that to me, mate.
Oh, you're working it, aren't you? Okay, let's not do that. Let's take a draw then.
You do you, mate. You do you.
Yeah, but I don't want you to go and have a boring...
Have that filth in the back of my mind.
You, putting that in there, I'm going to do it now. 0-0. You haven't even got a printer. Derby versus Millwall. Your mate, John Eustace, said the first half performance was unacceptable. So I suspect Derby will be very focused defensively. Said he was looking for more leadership, kind of implying they're missing Travis and Morris being out there and leading the team. Millwall are on fire. By the way, Millwall fans, if you want to turn up to your ground and sing "No One Likes Us, We Don't Care," then you can't have a go at me if I predict you to lose and you win, because that shows that you really do care, don't you? So can't have it both ways. I think Millwall are going to get something here. I'm going to go for another 1-0 Millwall away win, which is going to be very unhelpful for Derby. But you just see it. They just feels like they're in a scrap, Millwall, and they're flying, aren't they? Third in the table. I'll back Millwall. I was at Pride Park once for a proper away scrap. Jed Wallace scored at the end of the game, so I've seen this actually play out in front of my eyes. Derby 0, Millwall 1.
Cool. I'm predicting a really dour midweek, but this one
But Sam,
above any of the
like
others.
that sometimes in the midweek rounds, isn't it?
Yeah. Above any others, this it feels like 0-0 or 1-0 either way, but I'm being so dull that I'm going to go for a 2-1 away win for Millwall. In third, would this stick them?
I think you backed Borough, didn't you?
Yeah, well, it could potentially take them second if I'm wrong on Borough, couldn't it?
Yeah. Ipswich versus Stoke, Sam. I mean, Ipswich continue to befuddle and confuse us. Stoke, though, have lost 4 in 5. They're in bad form.
Yeah, really poor, weren't they, at the weekend? Wilmot came out after the game and said bullied by
Oh, really?
Sheffield United, and certainly this was in keeping really with that Derby performance, actually. I couldn't believe the amount of joy that Leicester got from set pieces, and again here Stoke well off it. I don't think that's been a reoccurring theme,
No,
but Sheffield United had about 4 free headers in their box, especially from the corners. McGuinness obviously getting one of those goals early. I'll go for Ipswich to win well, mate. I think would be my sentiment. 3-1.
So the thing I've got in my head is that Coventry are literally one of, if not the only team to, set up on halfway and attack Ipswich at Portman Road, and Stoke are just not going to do that, are they? So it seems to be with Ipswich, it's just all about the first goal, and if Ipswich get in front and it opens the game up, it's a good day, and if they don't, it tends to be a bad day. So I'm going to go for a tight Ipswich win. I think they're going to huff and puff and struggle. But yeah, Stoke's not a good opponent for Ipswich here. And the way they play on the break with Thomas and Manhurst as well. But I will back my boys just on star power and Stoke having to travel and being in bad form. So I'll go 1-0 Ipswich, which leaves us Hull versus Wrexham. Oh, so I don't know. Does this even... Because Hull are like probably the most open team in the league, and Wrexham are probably like the least open in terms of you expect low goals in Wrexham and you expect high goals with Hull. Who wins out? Essentially, if it's a style clash, then it's either a high-scoring Hull win or a low-scoring Wrexham win, isn't it? Even though Wrexham are good at the back, can you shut down Gelhardt at the moment? And a returning McBurney's going to be dripped in. Wrexham just don't lose at the moment, though, do they? I'm going to have to come down on the draw here. It's a low-scoring draw, isn't it? 1-1.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, actually, on the outcome. Hull's big improvement has been at home, hasn't it, this season? I think, despite that victory, defeat at the weekend, and I don't think... Yeah, there was a few boos in the first half, which is natural when balls are flying in your net. But I think in the main, the supporters that stayed with the team, and that shows you that there's been plenty of entertainment on offer. And I expect it to continue here. And you're right about Wrexham. They just don't lose, do they, at the moment? So I can only go for the 0-0 or the 2-2. So I'm going to go for the latter 4 goals shared, 2-2.
Good, because I think it's the TV game and I'll be doing it to watch along. So now I feel bad about giving you the 0-0 in bloody Bristol City Leicester. But there you go. Get involved down there in the comments. Super, super hectic schedule. So we'll call it short there. Make sure you've hit the subscribe button, like the video, got your predictions in as well. And you can, we'll stick a couple of videos up here from the Benjamin Bloom Clips channel. So there'll probably be a few clips of this show actually going out there. So make sure you subscribed over there. And I'll be back with the hot takes on Wednesday, and we'll get Sam back. We do this all over again because there's a weekend round. We do that on Thursday. Thank you everybody for watching, and we'll see you soon.